Thanks for joining us here on 90s Plus. I'm 90s meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and want to take a look back at what we saw in December of 2022 weather-wise. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about here. It was a wild month of weather. We saw snow, we saw rain, we saw ice, we saw 88-degree temperature spread. We saw temperatures in the 60s. We got down to minus 24. We saw our snowiest December in over 11 years. We had our wettest winter day in 16 years. It was wild. And we are used to wild weather here along the Front Range. What we saw in December 2022, even for us here along the Front Range, we're used to some wonky weather. Last month, pretty darn weird. And it was this number that really caught my eye, and I think for most of you as well. We got down to minus 24 on December the 22nd. That was our coldest temperature in 32 years and tied for Denver's 8th coldest temperature on record. Records date back 150 years. It was wild. And you remember that? It was just a couple weeks ago. We saw these temperatures this cold and also this sudden. 18 hours before it was minus 24, it was 51 degrees. So we saw a 75-degree temperature drop in just 18 hours in Denver. That was our second biggest two-day temperature drop on record in Denver. And again, that was pretty recent, so a lot of you will remember that. But overall, for the month of December, take a look at this. We actually got up to 64 degrees on December the 11th. We actually hit 64 twice on December the 1st and December the 11th. And then, well, 11 days after it hit 64, it was minus 24. That is a spread of 88 degrees in 1 month. And again, here in Denver and along the Front Range, we're used to getting some pretty wacky weather. We're not quite used to, I don't think, getting temperatures that wild or that stark in terms of that differential. Very, very unique indeed for us, and for that to take place in just 1 month certainly stands on out. Now, it wasn't just, of course, the temperatures, though we did finish the month about 2 degrees below average in December. We also picked up 13 inches worth of snowfall officially at our official climate site out at Denver International Airport. We saw 7.1 inches of snow officially from that storm back on December the 28th. We picked up about 2 inches of snow at the airport during the Eastern Plains blizzard at the beginning of the month. That kind of skirted the eastern fringes of the metro area. Most of us didn't see a ton of it, but the airport did pick up 2 inches. Long story short, we ended up with 13 inches of snow officially through the month of December, and that made it our snowiest December since 2011. The last 10 years, we've noted a bit of a downtick in terms of snowfall for us along the Front Range, but last month, certainly a bit of a boost on that end. And normally we average 8 inches of snow in the month of December, and through the end of the year, that meant we ended up with about 2 feet of snow between December, November, as well as October and September. So overall, off to a decent start based on what we saw over the first few months of the season. But there's no doubt about it. The big takeaway and the weather highlight from the month of December, it was this. Look at those temperatures. I mean, we got down to minus 24. We had that minus 43 wind chill on Wednesday, or I should say Thursday morning, December the 22nd. Again, just as a reminder, it was 51 degrees right before this, 18 hours before this, and we had that 75-degree temperature swing. That was the second biggest on record for Denver, and in one day, we also had a 62-degree temperature differential, also our second biggest one-day swing on record. So it was wild. We had that. We also had a lot of wet weather at the end of the month. We had that kind of surprise snowstorm that Wednesday night on December the 28th, which a lot of you will remember as well, which led to that kind of heavy, gloppy, wet snowfall that came down in a hurry. We started as some rain and then flipped over to some of that snowfall for us, and that helped us get up to this total of 13 inches of snow for the month of December. But again, overall, it was without a doubt a wild month in terms of temperatures, in particular, especially that minus 24 that we picked up, and also in terms of that snowfall. We had 3 or 4 at least minor snow events throughout the month of December. And normally, 13 inches of snow, kind of what we saw in the month of December, would be a bit more common during the spring months, specifically March and April. Those tend to be our snowiest months here along the Front Range. But what we picked up in December, a bit of a spring-like perhaps preview, but something we typically expect during those February, March, and April months. But a wild string of weather for us during the month of December. Again, that 88-degree temperature differential will stick out. That minus 24-degree temperature will stick on out as well. And I don't think we're going to forget the month of December in terms of front range weather anytime soon. Also, I should mention the mountains getting a lot of snow as well. So hopefully it gives you a good idea in terms of what we saw over the course of the 31 days of December 2022. Again, 88-degree temperature swing in Denver. We had 13 inches of snow in the month, and we also had a lot of wet weather. We picked up over an inch of liquid rain, snow equivalent, which is not that common for us during the month of December, and made it our wettest December in 16 years. So in quite a few respects, I don't think it's a month we'll forget anytime soon, but in particular, it was those temperatures in that 88-degree temperature differential over the course of the month that'll stick on out. So again, recapping a wild December of 2022 in Denver and Colorado weather.